Movies of the Meek, where we watch made-for-TV movies and miniseries so you don't have to. From Gia to Xenon, Hysteria to Sybil, welcome to Movies of the Meek.
So, Drew Peterson.
What?
Untouchable.
What? Zach, what is the story of this movie?
So, this movie is about a family man by the name of Drew Peterson, and his, this follows his two failed marriages, but we start on number 3, if I'm correct.
Yeah.
Both of which included signs of murder and or kidnapping.
Yeah.
This is all about, it's really, reminds me a lot of Gone Girl. It is, because it's really about the media and like their role in all of this, and not so much the trial, like last week's episode with Lizzie Borden.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's none of the trial in this.
No, there's none at all. It's really focusing on the media and what happened after each marriage.
Yeah.
So it starts on number 3.
Yeah.
Marriage number 3, and actually the whole movie's told via flashbacks, right?
Yeah.
Kind of like True Detective.
Yeah.
A little bit. And it was a cold open on the interview. Dude, all right, so this movie, like, let's be upfront why we picked this movie, and that was because of Rob Lowe.
We picked it because of
Like,
Rob Lowe?
I saw an image of him playing this man. This is a true story, by the way. And, like, just the picture alone, like, oh, man.
Yeah,
so good.
And that was my very first note that I wrote, was just the wig and hair and facial hair looks fucking horrible.
His
so
fake
bad.
mustache and his dumb wig.
Yeah.
Man.
He looks terrible.
Did this movie take place over a number of years?
Yeah.
So, and his look did not change at all. He did not he did not look different. I mean, I don't know. Was it 5 years or something?
Yeah, and I mean, if you look at actual pictures of Drew Peterson, like, Drew Peterson never changed.
That was his look.
He was set in stone. He nailed it.
He was perfect.
Yeah.
And Rob Lowe, he really transformed for this role.
Yeah, he did.
Oh, dude. Really gained a little weight, too.
I think he did.
Like a little belly.
I think especially in the neck, he gained some weight, and in the jowls, he really gained some weight.
Well, he does this thing where he pulls his head back, similar to Tim Heidecker in Awesome Show.
I was so glad that you said that.
Yeah, that's the first thing I thought, and I was like, I didn't want to say it. I wasn't sure
until we were a solid 2 hours into the movie, and
then,
by 2 hours I mean this movie feels like it's 4 hours long.
You asked me how much longer, twice, I think.
Yeah, easily 2 times.
Oh man.
Yeah, I wanted this movie to be over so bad,
dude. It felt like 4 hours, like you said. But yeah, Tim Heidecker was definitely an inspiration. Yeah. Did you watch any interviews with the actual Drew Peterson?
Yeah, I watched a little bit.
How close did he come to matching his mannerisms? Because from I haven't seen actual footage of him. From what I can tell from this movie, he was just a clown man.
I think he did a really good job.
Really good job.
No, he didn't do a very good job. He did fine. Sure, he did fine.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it was a disturbing performance.
Yeah.
I mean, the first thing that jumped out at me was the Big Daddy, the use, and he would force his third wife.
Yeah.
What was her name? His third wife, not Stacy, Christine, maybe.
Yeah, I think it's Christine.
The first scene, the first thing we see is him like forcing, her and his son. Is it his son or her son?
I think it's her son.
Her son. So his stepson, to call him Big Daddy.
Big Daddy.
And then he shows his dick to his stepson, and then remember? No, he gets out of bed in the beginning. naked.
Yeah.
And she's like, really, Drew? You know, why don't you put some clothes on? And he's like, well, he has to know why they call me Big Daddy. Yeah. And he's just like full frontal in front of this like 5-year-old boy.
That was fucked up. I also like during that sequence, you know, they're having sex and when the kid comes in, he's just like, I told you the kids were gonna hear, and it's like, are kids attracted to the sounds of sex and they come and find their kids?
I don't know,
because I thought that was just like a weird throwaway line anyway. But
like
yeah,
every line in this movie.
but yeah, and so then yeah, he shows his fucking dick to that kid. That was super weird.
It really established that he was just a fucking crazy person.
Oh yeah, you know, and that's, you know, the portrayal of this character obviously in the movie is not a good one, you know. And him as a person in real life is obviously a fucking shitty person, you know. And so he basically just sought out women that he could manipulate and take advantage of.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
But Rob Lowe's portrayal was almost comical. And like, I was never afraid of this man.
No.
Which I think he was going for. There's a couple, like,
especially when he's rocking his fucking American flag bandana and pointing at people. He's like, "Hey, you!"
It's a joke.
Yeah.
There's a couple, you know, scenes where
if you didn't move his neck like fucking Tim Heidecker,
that's what it is.
I could have taken
towards
him
the end
seriously.
when his neighbor lifts up the garage door. And he's just he has control of the remote. He has
a garage door opener.
Yeah, so he stole her garage door opener and like it's opening up and closing it, and she comes out, she's like, what the fuck's happening? She's in her garage, the door opens, he's standing there, and he pulls that classic Tim Heidecker like squint, and it looks so amazing. But like any like fear you would have as someone watching this movie is just gone.
Yeah.
Like what? The way he talks to people. Oh my god.
that classic Illinois accent that he fucking nailed.
Dude, that was so bad.
This is for my man cave. He says man cave.
That's why they call me Big Daddy.
That's why they call me Big Daddy. I also love so much of this fucking script is so just like pounding expositional points in. You know, like there isn't a character in there that just has like an actual like role other than like they're just there to say the exact points.
Say the exact thing or repeat what one of the main characters says.
Yeah.
So like, and I think the biggest offender of this is the neighbor that we just talked about with the garage door. I mean, most of her lines for the first 45 minutes of the movie are just repeating what Stacy is saying.
Yeah.
Or what Drew Peterson is saying.
Yeah.
And then she repeats herself again. You know, like it's fucking amazing.
Yeah.
But she gets a little more developed though.
She does get a little
surprisingly. Like I
kind of doesn't though, because I would say in the last 15 minutes of the movie, all of a sudden her husband is in one of the sequences, and I was like, she had a husband this whole time? I was like, where the fuck has he been? You know,
was he one of the guys that was just hanging around Drew Peterson?
He was just one of the guys hanging around fucking Drew Peterson.
Which is what so this movie really is saying that men are pigs.
Yeah.
Right? Because even the guys in the movie that are not as, as terrible as he is, they're friends with him. They hang out with him, and they even say like, this dude's a real piece of shit, but I just like hanging out with him. Yeah, he's my boy. So like all the guys from the neighborhood still hang out with him. Yeah, even though they know he fucking killed 2 of his wives. Yeah, which I don't think is very realistic. I mean, one of the journalists hangs out with him. Yeah,
I kind of think that like you enter a relationship with some people kind of like as a case study sometimes, where
like,
it's like
they're just fascinating.
Yeah, like you see a personality trait and you're attracted to it because of how bizarre it is. You know, it's like you find someone and you're like, holy shit, like this person has a 1930s mentality, and like there's an attraction to it just because of the fact that like it's so different from what you're used to.
And that too, and also maybe they see, there's a piece of them in him. They see, I mean, like that bar scene, the guys are like, man, he eats all the hot ass or whatever, and they would like to do that. They would like to treat women like that.
And that's another one of my notes is just that like everyone wants to fuck him,
Yeah, weirdly,
like, everyone. Big Bang, like first time that he meets her, she's just like blowing kisses, and then her friend is like, ew, he's like a billion years old, and she's like, she goes into like this movie uses slow motion constantly, and it goes into like a kind of like slow motion her thinking about him, and it's just like, God, like everybody wants to fuck this dude, and so one of the things that this movie does really nail home is the fact that he was attracted to these people that have dependent personalities, and the once again super expositional line from the reporter's like, he finds these girls, he profiles them, he knows how to seek out these girls that have these fucked up pasts, and he knows from their body language the type of women that they are, and he just attracts them. And then the other guy's like, yeah, but they're always smoking hot, how does that happen? And then the reporter's like, I don't know. And then it shows Drew Peterson, and he's like, you think I just found wife number 5? And then it's like, but that the mentality that he had and the way in which he acted is very similar to I read I think about a year ago, Holly Madison, the Playboy bunny, I read her book, which is basically, it's called Down the Rabbit Hole. It's about what it was like living at the ranch and what it was like being Hugh Hefner's #1 girlfriend. And one of the main things that you learn is that it's very much about manipulation through dependency. And so that's what he's looking for. He's looking for women that he can basically become the only way that they support themselves, and that's how they're trapped in these relationships.
Like a sugar daddy. I mean, he comes in, he finds these early 20-year-old girls that don't, they don't have a job yet, or still in school, like whatever their thing is.
And then he supports them, and he shows them a life that they want to have, and he's like, I can give this to you, and then they're trapped there. And then when he gets bored of it, he just fucking kills them.
Yeah, what the fuck? So, does he like having a family?
I don't know.
Because it seems like he's just in it to control the girl. I mean, he's controlling the children too, but I feel like the children are just like, or maybe that's a tactic to get her dependent on him.
Yeah.
Maybe that's what it is. Because I was like, why does he keep getting these girls pregnant?
Yeah, I mean that's the secondary definition of an anchor baby, where it's like you think your marriage is failing, and so you have a child just so that they feel anchored down. They now have something to be to take care of. It's a dependency, and that's what serious manipulation is all about. It's all about your financial dependency. It's all about the ways in which you can control someone's life, and he knew how to do that shit pretty well, apparently.
Yeah, it seems so.
The other thing, so like when he's showing Big Bang, when he's showing her like all the different shit in his life, and he's like, this is my plane, check out my plane, and she's like, ooh, that's so cool, you have a plane. When that is happening, she's like, oh man, how do you have this plane? And he's like, I got a whole bunch of businesses, Suds, I own Suds. So that who is taking care of that business?
Yeah, exactly.
That was my question. I was like, who the fuck is running Suds?
Because
he does all this other shit, and it's like...
I was a little confused about how much money he has, because he's already been through 2 divorces when we first see him.
Yeah.
And he's a cop.
Yeah.
I mean, they make decent money, but they're not buying fucking planes, and their houses are beautiful. I mean, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
He lives in 2 different houses, and they're like nice big houses.
Yeah.
But he owns Suds.
Yeah, and he also owns Suds.
I mean, you could own it and just have a manager running it, but like, after 2 divorces, you don't have that much money.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
Yeah. And he's super bummed at one point. He's like, I think I'm gonna have to sell the plane. It's like, yeah, fucking sell the plane, you asshole. Like, go fuck yourself.
It was like 6 months into the investigation, and he didn't hire a lawyer yet.
I don't think there was an investigation.
That's another thing. So his first wife. So he gets divorced from his first wife. Meets Stacy from Big Bang.
Yeah.
And then his first wife dies.
Yeah.
Accidentally, we think.
Yeah.
And then when his second wife goes missing, it's almost as if the police don't bother questioning him, or like there's no investigation. It's just media showing up.
Yeah.
And he's just like riding on this fucking hog and just like what is that? Like,
and you know that's
he's just living his life.
That's something that they kind of establish in the beginning, where they're showing all the different people, and once again super expositional dialogue. The one guy's like, everyone in this town owes you some favors.
So
and so I think it's just there was some leniency towards him in the beginning, simply because of the fact that he was well liked.
I guess so.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh.
And so some of the stuff involving Stacy dying, the stepbrother Glenn, who's my fucking boy.
We both love Glenn.
Dude, Glenn fucking kills it. That actor's familiar. I feel bad that I can't remember his name, but I've seen that dude in stuff.
He's so goofy looking.
And he's so goofy looking, and I fucking loved Glenn.
Yeah, he was really he was in the beginning and then the end, like towards the end. But
yeah.
Dude, his fucking, the lines that he had were amazing.
Fucking great. Great performance.
He calls him Big Daddy.
He calls him Big Daddy.
At the wedding.
At the wedding, he's like,
that's why they call him Big Daddy.
Man, how do you get all these hot chicks? That's why they call me Big. Oh no, he tells that's what he tells the fucking step kid. Yeah. He's like, tell my Big Daddy.
And he call your dad Big Daddy.
But yeah, and so in the movie we find out that he helped dispose of Stacy's body, and basically the movie shows that he felt remorse, and so he tried to OD. He tried to kill himself. Mm-hmm. To which Drew Peterson goes to the hospital to visit him, and he goes, "Yo, dude, you tried to kill yourself? Like a chick?" Which was another beautiful and sensitive moment from Drew Peterson.
The things he says about women in this movie are fantastic.
But also, the one thing is that, yeah, like supposedly, he did have the stepbrother Glenn. They dumped her body in Lake Michigan. Okay. Supposedly, that's what he said.
Wow.
Yeah. They still haven't found her. They've no.
But he was convicted, right? Because in this movie, at the end, it just says they were. He's still being investigated or something. Like
he was convicted, so he did murder the first wife, and then they still don't know where the body is.
So he was only tried for that one.
I believe so.
Oh,
yeah.
That's interesting.
They're still trying to find the body.
Oh, because they exhumed her corpse. Okay, cool. Well, not cool. That's terrible.
But yeah, Rob Lowe just has so many lines about women, and it's always just like, she was crazy around the same time every month.
He makes
know what I'm saying?
4 period jokes in this movie, and they're all amazing. He calls Stacy a big fat sweaty monster at one point.
Oh yeah.
I think he's talking to the neighbor. Or, no,
when he's talking to the meth head, and he's like, you don't want to have your girl be pregnant. Yeah. You think your girl, having some inklings of wanting some crack is bad? Wait till she becomes a fat fucking cow, because she's not gonna be anything like the girl that you fell in love with. She's gonna be a fucking monstrous garbage creature. And the crackhead's like, okay. The other cop in the car is just like, all right, fucking chill,
is that his partner?
Dog. Yeah.
Okay. dude.
And that's
that
also
poor bastard.
You know, they're nailing so hard into it that he's paranoid, and the one sequence where he's just like they drive by his house so that he can look at Stacy and watch her mow the lawn
in her fucking booty shorts and bikini, which he made her wear
in her Daisy Dukes. You know, and so they drive by the house, and he's like, yeah, you know what? I think she's, you know, talking to guys and stuff like that. And, you know, I think everyone's, you know, like, wanting to get a piece of that. And he's like, I know you are too. And he's like, dude, I'm fucking married. And he's like, yeah, but not to a girl as sweet as that. And he's like, come on, man. Like, my wife's attractive. And he's like, no, I'm being honest with you. She's not that attractive. Like, your wife's ugly and a piece of shit. Not like this beautiful flower spreading her scent. He literally says she is a flower spreading her scent. Fucking disgusting human being.
He's a gross man. We get it, Rob Lowe. He's gross.
We get Rob Lowe. You think Drew Peterson's a piece of garbage? We do too now. Thanks.
Dude. Let's talk about Stacy a little more.
She's a good actress.
So, what's her real name? It's not Big Bang Girl.
It's Kaylee Kuko?
Kuko, okay.
Kuko.
She was...
Not to be confused with my beautiful princess from Lemonade Mouth, Haley Kiyoko.
I would never confuse the two.
Yeah, good.
She was awful in this movie.
Yeah.
Did you agree with that?
I agree 100%.
I don't know. I mean, like, I think the script was not the best in this movie. But still, like, the way she performed, like, her lines were just absolutely miserable.
When her sister died.
That's legit. Have you seen? I know you're not a big fan of The Room.
Yeah.
But this movie reminded me a lot of The Room, like the way some of the performances came off, and like the reactions don't make any sense.
Yeah.
And that scene in particular, like she gets a phone call, her sister died, and her reactions, oh no.
Yeah. Yeah.
There's a similar reaction in The Room where one of the ladies finds out her mom has cancer or something, and she's just like, oh, okay. How was your, like, just completely changes the subject. So bizarre. Oh no. And I didn't, like, after that line, because it was so poorly performed, I thought it was something else. Like, I didn't know.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean? I thought it was something way less serious, and then it cuts to the funeral.
Oh, yeah, it cuts to a fucking funeral. Yeah.
And then, of course, fucking Rob Lowe's there being a dick.
Yeah.
He's like, I know you're fucking some guy.
Yeah.
Like, what?
He's like, you're here at the fucking funeral, scoping out dudes. You fucking piece of garbage whore. And she's like, my sister just died. He's like, why didn't you fucking act like it? You know why? Because you're fucking scoping the arena for dick, you fucking piece of shit.
I thought for sure he had something to do with it. Like,
oh, yeah.
Like, I totally thought that he killed her sister for some reason.
Yeah,
like,
and that's...
to make her more dependent on him, but I don't know.
Yeah, and that's, you know, one of the things that I was thinking about is I was like, maybe he has a whole bunch of money because, like, he killed all of his wives, you know?
Yeah.
Like, maybe there was something, like, maybe they were rich or something, but I have fucking no idea.
So he had 2 other wives.
Yeah.
What happened with them? Did you read up on it at all?
No, I didn't read up
on
them. I mean,
I guess they're living because that would have played a part in this movie if those wives were also dead.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I would say Big Bang Girl did a okay job.
Yeah, she was terrible.
She was terrible.
Yeah. Yeah, there's no nice things to say about her performance.
Really, the only good performance was Rob Lowe.
Oh yeah, Rob Lowe fucking fucking slayed this movie.
I watched an interview with him about this movie, and he took this very seriously. He was like, he was like, you know, it's, I can't find, there's not a piece of me that's like this man. Like, I didn't know if I want to take this role, but, you know, I just had to try.
And that's, I will say, so the problem with this movie, okay, and I will stand by that, this is the only problem with this movie, okay, is that it doesn't have a real main character, because your main character, like, isn't one you care about. It's not one that you want to see good things happen to. And also, if you look at the way that the film is structured, like, I would say 60% of the movie is based upon Big Bang, you know, like, focused on her as the main character.
Okay, sorry. You know? When you said that, I was like, I thought you meant like it was modeled after the show Big Bang Theory.
No, you know, and so it's like you have this story and you have these flashbacks, and then you finally get to the girl and she blows him a kiss and they fall in love, and she's like, let's fuck in the basement. Oh, I don't want to fuck in the basement. And he's like, come on, baby, get in the basement. And then it's following this story, and she's in this whirlwind romance, and she's in love, and it keeps going. And I was like, oh, so this is gonna just be like about her,
like her perspective,
you know? Yeah. And then once again, like, the last 40% of the movie is all fucking Rob Lowe.
Yeah.
And I was just like, yeah, well, we don't fucking care about him. And the problem with it is that it's not like her narrative continues and she gets justice, because that's the narrative that you want to have. The narrative that you want to have for a completion of her story arc would be that she's gone, they find the body, and then he, you know, gets punishment for it.
Mm-hmm.
But that never happens, and still hasn't happened.
No, I mean, this
so
movie,
what? It's like life?
It's like a reenactment, I think, more than anything.
Yeah.
Because the movie that was on Netflix, it's a reenactment movie of these events.
Yeah.
I think this is just Lifetime's version of that movie.
Okay.
Which would explain how like you said, there is no like through line with any of the characters.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess it's, you know, Drew Peterson's the main character. I mean, it's his biopic or whatever, but like, he's a piece of shit.
Yeah.
There's no one to root for in this movie.
Yeah, and that's, you know, that's my problem with it, is that you know, it doesn't follow like any version of what a story should be. You know, it's just like,
this is how terrible this man is.
The
movie. It's all it is. I mean,
it's like, this is a terrible piece of garbage human being, and he kind of gets some bad shit at the end. It's like, if you're a piece of garbage for long enough, you know what? At some point, you're gonna get your comeuppance.
But he does. But at the end, he doesn't even care. Like, there's no payoff.
Yeah.
At all for the audience, because he's happy in prison.
Yeah.
You know, he's meeting his fifth wife or something. The movie ends with him and him behind the glass and some new blonde.
Yeah.
Touching hands.
Yeah.
Between the glass.
Yeah.
There's a freeze frame.
Yeah. Because that's a whole thing, like chicks that are into serial killers.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. What a piece of shit.
Yeah.
He's like that in real life.
Yeah.
Ooh.
But fatter. He's a fatter guy.
Really?
Yeah.
Rob Lowe did all right.
he gained as much weight as he could.
As he could to still play his character on Parks and Rec.
Okay, so that answers my question that I was gonna ask. I was gonna ask what Rob Lowe is from, because I know Rob Lowe, I just don't know
Tommy Boy,
like,
bro.
Oh shit, I love him.
Yeah, so he was in a lot of I think late 80s, 90s movies. Okay. And then I think he did something terrible. Didn't he like do something really bad? Like,
did he kill his third wife?
No. That'd be funny.
That'd be funny if Rob Lowe had a wife that disappeared and he was just like, I just feel like I can't connect to this character in any way, but I feel drawn to this story for some reason. For some reason, I think
he was charged with like sexual abuse or something with some
nice.
Girl.
Good.
But yeah, Parks and Rec is his thing now.
Yeah.
His main thing. In this movie.
Yeah.
Too. He's known for this role.
He's a great.
So this movie was, I think, number 9 on a worst Lifetime movies of all time. list.
And I could say, yeah, it drags so much. It's like the longest feeling movie ever.
That's an hour and a half. It's less than an hour.
It's less than an hour and a half.
An hour 20 minutes.
Yeah. It's fucking insane. And the thing is that, like, you know, if someone was like, would you suggest that movie? I kind of would. Like, I kind of would suggest this movie.
Because it's funny.
Because it's funny as shit. His fucking Tim Heidecker faces are so good.
I kind of want... I mean, I own it now. Like, make a super cut of, like, all of his, like, fucking Tim Heidecker stunts.
If you could just cut the part and add super dramatic music of the sequence where she hears the garage door, and then just fucking like her entering the garage and the door opens, and then just have Rob Lotella's head just like spaghetti. Like, that would be the fucking greatest thing of all time.
I will get on that.
But yeah, I didn't like this movie. I didn't.
This keeps happening with us. We keep watching these, except for Lemonade Mouth. I like that movie.
Yeah, Lemonade Mouth was good.
But made-for-TV movies are some of the worst movies. But I know there's gonna be a few gems. Like, I know we're gonna find ones that we love.
Next week we will watch Horse Sense. I've never seen it.
You've never seen Horse Sense?
I've never seen. Have you?
Yeah, when I was a kid.
Okay.
On Disney Channel. But
I have no idea what it's about.
I actually forget most of the plot, but I think it's a pretty good movie. The Lawrence brothers.
Yeah.
They're in it, or two of them are in it, I think.
Yeah.
That should be good.
Yeah.
Any last words about Drew Peterson Untouchable?
No, I think
you covered everything.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I did too. I mean, I have a lot of notes, but honestly, I would say about half my notes are talking about the use of the word "Big Daddy" or the just like I was like shocked every time you said it. My first note for it is "Big Daddy?" ? He says "Big Daddy" and shows his dick to little boy.
When they arrest him, they're like, "You're gonna need a strip," dude. and he's like, "I know, I'm used to this kind of stuff. You guys just want to see my junk. You guys just want to see Big Daddy. I'll show it to you." And then he fucking dancing. He strips and he starts dancing, and then it slow-mos on the dancing, but it keeps whatever he was singing, like that track continues. I was like, the fuck?
This would be so dumb, dude. Oh, man.
Yeah.
So, would you recommend this movie?
No.